The red snappers, you eat them. Look at all these fishes.
Oh my God! Oh my God! Look at that! Look at the eyes.
Is there a picture?
Oh wow, that's a snapper.
They're going to come back to that.
Wow, look at this. Those are these? They're snappers. You can eat that. Is he excited?
Yes.
Wow, those are big ones. This guy.
Let me take a picture with you and
See what I want to say? Snapper, yeah. You see?
Snapper. You can eat them too. You can eat them. You can eat them.
That's good fish. You can drop that.
Look at this one.
Yeah. That's the time of it. We don't grab it.
litter box.
Hello. Hello.
Oh, what kind of fish is that?
What are the children?
It's a big fish right there.
That's like
Whoa, look at that dude.
this is a pictus catfish.
Honey, look at that. Honey, look.
Oh my god. That looks dangerous.
Смотри, там
Are those Marys?
This is
Look at that. Cool, isn't it? Okay.
That is sit up. That is? Oh, you did put it down a little bit?
Look, Lita. Oh, look, it's penguins. Look back here. Let me show you. Want me to pick you up? You see them back there?
Take some pictures of the animals so that you can show her later.
I am. We have penguins. Penguins there.
You are not very enthusiastic about the penguin.
Give me a habitat. So fun. We habitat with this rafters.
Look, he's washing his face. Almost too big. What do you do with that?
You just want to go in.
Want to see more? Almost too big. Wow. Pelican. You want me to hold you up higher? Can you see it good?
octopus দেখেছি octopus ছবি
Yeah, it looks like it, right?
Hey, ¿cómo está? ¿Cero?
Esa que ya lo tenemos, ¿verdad?
That big fish over
Otra que ya la tenemos. Mira, esta que ya la tenemos, ¿verdad, mamá? Look, Mommy blue. Mommy blue. Mommy house. Mommy blue.
This is in Africa.
Wat betekent het?
It's a fishy.
Oy fishy şöyle kamutte. Kamutte.
এভাবে কামড় দুষ্টু করে কামড়
Dory fish. Dory fish. আরে এটা কি কামুtte? এটা কি কামুtte? এই বড় কি কামুtte?
বল কি কামড় দেবে
Tasnia, frente a
Tasnia, আসো সামনে আসো
Ona, oy.
Vaya que la
¿Cómo se llama esa planta? Corales.
পিজি পিজি
এটা তো ফাইন করতে হবে ওই জন্য না ব্লুটা হলো তোমার এটা ফ্লাইং ফিশ কাটো ইউরো ফিশ ফিশ কাটো এটা কাটো না এটা কাটো নিন্নু भी कर दो मम्मा दी नूर मम्मा दी भी
One करने वो भी बनाने के लिए हुआ क्यों क्या लिया हम करने
नहीं होता No, los guantes, no hacen nada.
Right there.
on their wings for identification purposes. There are currently 28 penguins living here at the New York Aquarium, many of which were born here. African penguins are capable of laying eggs all year round, but typically lay from November to March. They reach breeding age at around 3 to 4 years old. Females can lay up to 2 eggs at a time, and both parents will take turn incubating the eggs for approximately 39 days. Chicks are born with a charcoal-colored covering of down, which is replaced by their first coat of waterproof feathers a few months later. Wild African penguins will care for their chicks for up to 3 months by feeding them regurgitated fish. Once a chick gets its waterproof feathers, it will fledge, which means that it will be able to go to sea to hunt for its own fish. Here at the aquarium, the parents raise their chick until they are approximately 25 days old. At this point, the chick is able to regulate its own body temperature, and so we remove them from their parents and hand raise them. We do this to teach them how to take food from our hands. We then carefully introduce them to the rest of the colony once they have their waterproof feathers. While they are usually similar in size to the adult birds by this time, their feathers have a different color pattern. They do not develop the typical stripe across their chest until they molt into their adult feathers at 1.5 years of age. Most of the birds you see were born here or at other zoos or aquariums over the years. Although penguins have a number of natural predators, their greatest threats come from people. 12 penguin species, including African penguins, have rapidly declining wild populations. Currently, African penguins are considered endangered. Penguin colonies all over the world have had to deal with a variety of factors. Oil spills in regions where penguins swim are particularly hazardous. Oil-damaged feathers will not provide adequate insulation against the ocean's cold water temperatures, and so oil penguins are unable to hunt. Other threats include egg collecting and guano harvesting. If you're wondering why anyone would want it, it's because guano is actually a valuable fertilizer. Unfortunately, when people harvest it, they disturb the nesting sites. Penguins burrow in guano, so when it gets removed, they are sometimes forced to nest out in the open. And in many areas of the world, penguin colonies have had to deal with human-introduced predators such as cats and dogs. Overfishing severely depletes penguin food resources. African penguins typically spend anywhere from 12 to 48 hours at sea hunting for schools of fish. They generally forage within about 12 miles of the coast along the continental shelf. Although they must travel to find food, they do not undergo long seasonal migrations as other penguin species do. In recent years, it has become increasingly difficult for African penguins to find enough food for themselves and for their chicks. The sardine and anchovy stocks off the coast of southern Africa have been overfished, and the schools that are left are moving farther away from the penguins' normal hunting grounds. So African penguins have had to travel even further to find food, and many are not getting back to their nest sites with enough food to feed their chicks. We can help penguins worldwide right here at home by using our power as consumers to make wise choices about the fish we purchase. For help in making those choices, visit our website at nyaquarium.com to learn more and to find apps you can use while shopping at fish markets and dining at restaurants. Remember too that when we reduce our carbon footprint, we may slow climate change. So turn off your lights and ride a bike. Take public transportation or walk. Thank you so much for joining us today as we transform into the new New York Aquarium.
No, los guantes, no hacen nada.
Right there.